Trustee regular meeting of May 10th, 2022 to order, 6:01. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Zeitz,
Here.
Fitzpatrick,
Here.
Wolfgang,
Here.
Blonstein,
Here.
Campbell,
Here.
Kutra, and Fleece.
Present.
Carl sent a message, something came up that he had to take care of, so he won't be here tonight. Brief public input.
I apologize. I've never been here before, and I know some of you come to the photo. My name is Scott Seifert. I live in the village of Kingsley on Ash Street, if it matters. And I am actually running for District 8 Grand Traverse County Commission. So I thought I'd stop by and introduce myself. So I see some familiar faces, but it's probably been 100 years. And but if you don't know, part of District 8 includes, I believe, like what you call Zone 2 of Blair Township. It's on the east side of 37. And so I just thought I'd stop by and see what's going on and introduce myself in this craziness. And I'll stay till the end, I promise. If you have any questions or anything.
Thank you.
Scott, you have some goals and objectives?
Yes, I do. I've lived in Kingsley for a few years now. I grew up there. I have a lot of family ties there. And I have, now that the county, is kind of split up in more of an even keel. I have some goals. I'd like to see Southeast County, especially the non-waterfront parts of the county, have not been very well represented, and I'm kind of hoping we can fix some of that. Everybody runs to Garfield Township and the water. There's Grand Traverse County is certainly so much more than that, and I've grown up here, so. And that's my goal, is to be a voice for my neighbors.
Yep, nice. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Any other public input? Approval of the agenda. Before we approve this, I apologize. I completely forgot to put our capital improvement plan on the agenda for our adoption tonight. We've been working on it for a few months. The planning commission adopted it last month. And I totally forgot. It was a priority for several months. So I would like to add the adoption of the capital improvement plan to the agenda.
Would that be number 10?
We can do it at number 10, just to make it easy. I also would like to add to the agenda, Lynette and I just received verbal notice today that our newest DPW employee has accepted a position with another municipality closer to his hometown. So he tendered his 2-week notice today. So I would like to add to the agenda posting for a DPW employee.
I would move to approve the agenda with the 2 additions.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda. Before we do that, we could probably just remove number 5 right now. Since he's not gonna be here.
Oh, yeah.
So do you wanna add that to your, are
Well,
you good?
can we leave that in there for April and May, cause we already submitted for that.
The check's in the board packet, yeah.
And he was
Or-
here.
yeah.
Okay, so we could leave it.
Boy, anybody, 10 years from now, when people look back at our minutes, they're gonna be so confused.
Okay, so it's been moved and supported to approve the agenda with the 2 additions.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Blonstein.
Yes. Declaration of conflict of interest. Anything on the agenda tonight that anybody has a conflict with? Presentation special reports. Brad will be here after his Garfield meeting to do his report. Deputy Karczewski wasn't available to be here tonight. He did submit his report. Treasurer's report.
All right. We have the general fund, $4,541,926. The public safety fund, $1,163,262. The ambulance fund is $1,018,762. The Metro Act fund is $17,240. The liquor law enforcement fund is $35,097. Milfoil fund is $7,871. The sewer fund is $1,920,103. The water fund is $2,649,369. The current tax collection is $29,635. And the payroll fund is $58.52 for a total of $11,383,325.22.
Any questions for Tracy?
And I just wanted to add, Lynette and I are gonna try to remember this, but we received, and I don't know that I brought it with me, we received our extra money for the state for our revenue sharing, and it was around 90,000 more. So our revenue sharing line item is gonna be like $100,000 more than, and we'll have to just remember that a budget that we can't have, we won't get that 100,000 again, we'll just have to remember to remove that.
That extra money was due to the census.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, to get, cause they go from 2020, so for the last 2 years.
Patrick, did you want to talk about anything in your report? We actually have you on consent calendar, but I know sometimes you like to.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions about the client report, or are water loss now, or?
I just wanted, I briefly read through the report from Dixon, and, you know, I understood everything they said. I'm assuming everybody on the water sewer committee is gonna get a copy of that.
I can do that.
And I did make a folder on my computer and save that to that. I'm gonna try to save,
Okay.
you know, maintenance type things so that we know when things were done last
Okay.
and, but it does sound like there's some minor things we need to
Yep,
do.
we've already done a couple of them
Okay.
with the screens,
The ones that didn't meet the
the
Eagle,
24 mesh screen.
yeah.
Yep, and I believe the underground tank, that was done last week.
Well, that was the report for the
Yeah.
underground tank,
Well,
right?
yes, you're correct. But I blew the screen off when I overflowed it, when I filled it the other day, because the mesh is so fine,
Mhm.
when you overflow with the elevator tank, you gotta replace it every time. But if they require it, that's fine, we'll do it.
Okay, thanks.
Any water loss?
Water
questions?
loss committee update.
Well, one, the minutes, I left Dennis off the minutes, so for the attendance, Dennis was there.
So we're replacing all of the commercial meters out there right now, and Taco Bell was replaced, but the, let's see, the bypass was open, so 80% of the water they were getting was free. So that was a big loss right there. And we're going to continue meeting, and we're going to take a look at
all of the curb stops that are out there that could have leaks, we're not sure, but there's a lot of them out there. We really don't have an idea and they need to be checked. So with that, and then we're also gonna sit down, since we have a capital improvement program, and now set up some priorities for maintenance that we can be on top of and provide the tools that need to be provided to make sure those maintenance things are carried out. So that's about what we have right now.
And did we get the 76 on by the end of the day Friday?
Yes, there's, I believe, 27 left, and they should be done. They're planning on, if all goes well, to being done by the end of the day tomorrow.
Is that ahead of schedule?
I believe so. I think
Yeah.
they planned for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I
They
thought.
said it's the smoothest meter change out they've ever had. So.
Wow, great.
Good.
And I've tended them when they needed the water off, or they can't find the meter, or whatever they need. I've run right out and help them out, keep them moving along.
And Carl's he came to our first meeting, or came to our meeting and drew us lots of pictures.
Yes,
Thanks for
absolutely.
participating in that,
Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of history and a lot of knowledge that's not written down anywhere, but still, and we want to get it out of here before you lose it, so. Thank you.
Too late.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
And when the meters, I'm sorry. When the meters are all changed out, I won't touch those for recycling until you're happy and you say, go ahead and we can take them apart for recycling. But there's probably $1,800 worth of brass sitting there.
Cool. Nice.
I just
Um,
wanted to mention that Carl's name is misspelled in the minutes. He's
Which-
not Bellinger,
he's
he's
Behringer.
Behringer.
Oh, apparently I really did bad on the minutes. That's why spelling is not my forte. I'll fix all
Tracy and Lynette and myself, we met with the road commission regarding the new cost share program that they're rolling out to all the municipalities. They are willing to actually come out here and do a small presentation to the entire board, if you guys are interested in it. It's the second meeting that I've attended with them. The first one, they just invited all the township supervisors. This was the second one, and they said they're more than willing to come out and talk to the whole board. It's interesting. They also have a new, software program. I was gonna say software program that it's not out to the public yet. They're still tweaking information, but it's cool. People will be able to get on their software program if they're driving down the road and see a pothole, ping the pothole, goes right to the program. Every call that Katrina or staff receives gets logged into the program. So date, time, who it was, what the complaint, where it was, it's all gonna be public information. It's,
And you can go on and check the project, or the progress of,
Yep.
you know, the repair.
That's cool.
and basically what their cost share program, they're gonna give our township, each township is different based on, mileage, road mileage, and population, and I don't know if they calculated taking into consideration millage money received from each town. I think it was basically road mileage.
Mm-hmm.
Blair Township, they're gonna put in a bank $44,000. That's for us as a board to choose a project to spend that money on, with the exception of anything in subdivisions. It's for local through roads, local roads. All subdivisions fall under the special assessment district. They are not fixing, repairing subdivision roads. They used to just use our millage money to repair the local roads, but now they're all caught up. or pretty close to being caught up on local roads, so they're taking on local through roads to repair, not just potholes, but crowning them, and if you guys want them to come out and present to you,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I know
I think
somebody
we oughta.
somebody would. Do you guys have anything? I think that'd probably be best, just to have them come out and do a quick summary. $44,000 isn't a whole lot of money.
No.
That might repair a couple of potholes.
But you can bank it up to 3 years worth,
Oh.
Yep.
so.
Yep. But the average for paving a road is
A $500,000 for a half mile.
$500,000 for a half mile.
Can we get a road repaired and then get credit?
What?
Well, okay, if we get 44,000 this year and 44,000 next year, and the following use them all this year, we won't get nothing for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think you actually can do that,
Yeah, you can bank 3 years.
That way, maybe we can get something done.
No. With 120,000, you're not gonna get a whole lot done.
No.
No,
500,000 for a half mile.
yeah.
Is that paved or blacktop?
That's paved. Yep. And that's just the ballpark.
Wow.
Eric and I met with the Tart Trail people two weeks ago, Friday, I think. We actually went to our newly acquired property and we did a major hike of the property. It was incredible. And we looked at where we'll put the proposed phase 1 of the trail system through the railroad track. You guys, I'm telling you, if you wanna go for a hike, check out that property. It was breathtaking. The rolling hills, the hardwood, you get down the hill, there's cedar forest area and the Beitner Creek running right through it. The proposed trail runs right along the creek. It's the most gorgeous piece of property I've walked in a long time, and I walk a lot of properties. And I found a deer shed. I was looking for morel mushrooms while we were out, but I found a deer shed instead. So our next meeting with them hopefully will be with the railroad people. The Community Foundation has received the application for the grant money for the first phase of the project. So now we'll start the meetings with the railroad people and hopefully be able to enter into a lease, 100-year lease agreement, 99-year, 100-year lease agreement with the railroad people to use those tracks. The tracks are in poor shape. And we know asking them to pull them out, that doesn't happen, which is fine. But even if they were ever to start using, it's just a small section. It stops at Cherry Growers, or Matern, whatever it's called now, Go-Go Squeeze. The amount of money that would have to go into those tracks in order for one car to go down it is incredible. So I'm being optimistic about it. So
Fantastic.
keep our fingers crossed. And the Tart Trail people were, I think, even more excited than I was because they have built millions of miles of trails. And Julie Clark, the president of Tart, she literally was looking and she's like, oh, this is a dream. Because there's no trees that would have to be removed. So we wouldn't be met with any resistance from people who don't want trees. There's no trees to be removed. It basically, prep work, put your trail in, done. Very little construction, earth moving stuff. So that was cool. The county land bank meeting regarding 1769 County Road 633, right up the road, the red house. It's a blighted piece of property. It went into tax foreclosure. No taxes have been paid since 2018, so he lost it to the county land bank. The county land bank so kindly, graciously decided to allow him to make payments back to them. Which I get, you don't wanna kick people out of their houses, but it's a blighted piece of property. I was there with pictures and documentation. The resident was there. We had a complete disagreement on what we consider blight. He wanted me to make sure that I knew that he was a scrapper, and all of the scrap metal that's piled up everywhere on his property is his living. I let him know that we don't allow scrap yards in residential areas, and there was a lot of other things besides scrap metal in his yard. So we kind of went back and forth. I let the land bank know, you're now the owners of this. 30 days, get it cleaned up. If you don't, we're coming after the county. So we'll see where that gets us. But on a positive note, I did see the resident here at Saturday at Township Cleanup Day, which I was glad to see. I kind of put my head down and went the other way. But he is making some effort. So that's good. And the county treasurer called me today and wanted to know if maybe I would go up to the property and explain to him what blight is and what we need cleaned up. And I'm gonna let her know tomorrow that no, I'm not gonna do that. And I'd be more than happy to send her a copy of our zoning ordinance. And since it's county-owned land bank property, they can go let them know. I'm not comfortable, and I wouldn't even feel safe doing that. And I don't think that they need to do that. They're the ones selling it back to him. They own it. They need to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll let them know.
Yeah, you're right.
Our Easter egg hunt, we had a lot of kids here. The weather didn't cooperate. The big kids were jerks. I'm looking forward to next year having it up at the pit spitters at the stadium. There's a lot more space. We can space them out, get them in their groups before it starts. I mean, the big kids literally plowed over the little kids and picked up all their eggs on the way out to their section. And nobody wanted to group in their sections before it started because it was raining and snowing. So I get that. Had just a couple complaints from people about that, but also received some, two nice emails saying, you know, I know your heart hurt because the weather wasn't cooperating and the big kids were kind of jerks, but thank the township for doing that. So next year will be better. We received an invite today to Camp Sakakawi from Green Lake Township. They are having officially taking possession ribbon cutting ceremony on Thursday, May 19th at 3 p.m. It's on Bass Lake Road. So I'll post this if anybody wants to go. I think it's a cool thing. I had the town hall meeting with our state legislator out of Detroit area, Cynthia Johnson, and her committee, somebody from the mayor's office, speaking on behalf of House Bill 4084, which has passed the House. It's now being held up in one of the Senate's environmental committees. Because the chairman of the environmental committee doesn't believe that blight and illegal dumping is an issue in Michigan other than Detroit. So, right? Yeah, so I was a panelist last night representing Northern Michigan on illegal dumping and blight. I was nervous at first. They sent me the run of the show, but I was so into it. I had a good time. I had a good time, and they were so thankful because everybody on the panel was from Detroit Metro. So to actually hear somebody from Northern Michigan and more of a rural, we're very rural to them, say this is an issue. And I called Mark Biebelheimer to get our compacted yardage from the Township Cleanup Day on Saturday, which was 455 compacted yards of waste we collected. That doesn't include the 3 40-yard roll-offs, nor does that include Grandpa's garage. They're scrap metal bins.
Oh my.
It was a record for the township.
How much was that?
455. Yeah, it was double what we were last fall in about 145 yards more than our biggest cleanup since we started doing them. So it was great to have that information as a panelist last night, because one of the questions was, what are we as local municipalities doing to help prevent illegal dumping and blight? Well, this is what we're doing, and now we need this bill passed to, in my opinion, our opinion, to increase fines and penalties for those who get caught. And it's all based on the amount of dump that happens. They've got it broke down, 1 cubic yard would be this much, 3 cubic yard this much, over, it's all broken down. It's a great bill, and I think it's not gonna curb the illegal dumping, but I certainly think it will help, especially if you can catch people and make examples. I also suggested that the state consider contributing money to local municipalities for trail cams. Municipalities can put the cameras up, but the state can fund it, especially since we're going down, like when we do Hoosier Valley cleanup, and cleaning up their property, and they don't pay us for it. They don't pay for it, so. Anyways, I will be speaking at the Senate level on this when it goes to the committee.
You know, Buckley had, cleanup day the same day we did. Would be interesting to find out how much they.
There were 4 of them in the area.
Yeah, it would be interesting to have those statistics as well, if you're gonna talk again on it.
I received a really, really nice email today from one of the developers in the township, Chris Washburn. He is one of the developer investors who is doing the M37 roundabout storage barns. That's what they're called. We had a pre-con there last Friday. It was great. Every single utility, every engineer, every person that was part of this project was there. But I just want to read this really quick because I thought it was very nice. It's addressed, Dear Lisa, Pat, Nicole, and really many others from our Blair Township partners. Friday was a beautiful day, and we had 100% attendance of a construction-related aspect crew that were invited. Thank you for having the township represented. I spoke with the quality of the companies and manufacturers chosen, and this clearly will be a landmark destination as entry to the north, which is much more work to do, but a project to be vested in by way of pride for everyone out there. Our goal was to create accountability and enthusiasm and get all questions answered. I also really made sure that I spoke with Blair Township as our partners. This is not a development about making as much money as possible, but serving our community. I explained personally, if done right, as this will be, there was a need for this, and we were the clients, and it will be just that, a single owner with a barn for truly decades to come. I also spoke to the importance of much of what is in your 2019 master plan as it aligns with our goals and was the intent. Things like increased trail access and utilization, northern aesthetics, local vested partners, sustainability, and efficiency. I made it clear that this could not have been done without the Blair Township support and guidance, and what an impact having a positive relationship with Lisa has done for us. Blair Township will be very evidenced in this development of significance for our community. It is getting a lot of press on our community news, and you're good people doing good things daily. It's often not covered that way. We are helping to change that. Cheers to the good news. We just wanted to give you, oh, that was nice. Cheers to the good news. We just wanted to give you an update. I know Tuesdays are brutal for you, but hopefully this is just a positive distraction. Pics and articles below. Can you please forward this to Nicole and others? I do not have their email handy. I'm working remotely. And then he sent pictures from the, it was basically a groundbreaking first pre-con meeting on site, which was the first time I'd ever done a pre-con on site. It was fun. It was cool. And I thought for him to send an email like this, it needed to be read. I think that's all I have. Joyce?
I have, we got accomplished Vance Road cleanup and picked up a whole bunch of those little bottles.
Shooters.
Fireball.
You know,
Fireball.
yeah,
Mhm.
a whole bunch of them. And thanks to the firefighters and that came out to help us. And then Township Cleanup Day was a day, to say the least. I know we had over 200 cars come through because I know I collected those things
You know,
over twice. But
I think it was more than that.
I only had,
yeah.
personally, I only had one lady complain to me. And I know Jake had more complain to him because they were bottlenecked down by him a little bit, but him and Aaron were working their tails off to unload, but.
The only time I had anybody complain, and it wasn't really a complaint, was when we were down to one truck and
Yeah.
nobody was moving.
Yeah,
That lasted about 45 minutes, but then once they got moving, we got caught up really fast.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that one truck that was already full, and bless him.
he tried.
He was packing as tight as he could, and he was kind of just pretending, because what we
Yeah.
didn't want was him to wheel away. We knew another truck was
Yeah,
close by and was
Yeah.
gonna be here.
Yeah.
When we didn't wanna have no truck, so we were just slowly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's, next thing, and this crew, they were all brand new. We didn't have any of our regular
Normal.
guys who have been here for cleanups. These guys were out of Cadillac.
Okay.
And then when Elmira shut down at 11, they sent that crew over. But holy smokes, these guys were incredible to work with. They were
Yeah, they
so
were.
polite. They were so super strong. They were in there. I mean, they worked hard, and I just can't say enough about that company. They're
Yeah.
great.
Some of them,
Right.
some people dumped down by Jake and Aaron, they dumped a bunch of garbage because they didn't want to come up here. So they just threw it on the ground down there, and the couple dump trucks went down, or garbage trucks at the end went down and helped us and got it all picked up real quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that. I knew that there was wood that was dumped on the ground, and we were gonna have to get that into a bin. And I was dreading that, looking at the size of the pile, because the roll-offs weren't here when the cleanup started. But Jake came walking up and he said, "Oh, next to there's a garbage pile down there." He said, "I literally wanna cry." And I'm like, "Garbage? And he's like, "Yeah, garbage. So I grabbed the truck drivers before they left. Said, "Will you take your trucks down there?" And they all 10 of them,
Yeah.
down there, and that huge pile was cleaned up in 5 minutes.
And it made him so happy.
Yes. Yeah.
Water assessment bills, the 25 of 25 went out in the mail May 1st, so this will be our last year for water assessment bills. We sent out 285 bills at a total of $33,159. Nicole and I went to MTA a couple weeks ago, and it was so nice to get back into
In person.
in person, seeing people, reconnecting. And the next 2 years, it'll be here in TC at the resort. And then next week is EMS Appreciation Week, and I ordered all their stuff. And I have to, if anybody wants to prepare anything, I have to leave for Florida on Wednesday. So I'll probably do,
It's warm here.
it's not my choice. So if anybody wants to prepare anything or do anything, just let me know.
I will let you know. I will just look at my schedule.
Yeah. I'll probably do something beginning of the week. Maybe a breakfast or something for them, but
Is Fruit Loops okay for them?
that's where I was going with. And I think that's all I have.
Anybody else got anything? Consent calendar. That was a lot of announcements.
Yeah.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board may ask that any item of the consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected.
I would make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the consent calendar as presented. Roll call.
Lees,
Yes.
Flanschein,
Yes.
Sights,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
No unfinished business, new business, public
Yeah.
hearings.
You're gonna make Brad go first, or?
Oh, hi, Brad. Yeah, let's let Brad give his report.
I was just thinking, every time I get done early at Garfield, then I come here and wait, but every time I run late there, then you guys are waiting on me, but anyway. Brad Deal, Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners. Last week, our board voted to, dissolve our relationship with, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health. We're going to be forming our own, or possibly looking at a couple of neighboring counties to form a new CMH and everything. A lot of people have said that this is all based on things that have happened or not happened with the jail and community mental health over the last few years, but it's more than that. It's pretty in-depth and everything like that. But our administration will be drafting a letter of intent to dissolve that. After we approve that letter that's being sent, then that gives Northern Lakes Community Mental Health 366-day notice that it will be dissolved. And as long as we have our plan in place, MDHHS needs to approve our plan, and we're working with people from MDHHS and attorneys and everything to get everything put in place. Every county in the state has a CMH or is part of a CMH and stuff, so it's nothing new. It's just we gotta have all the pieces put together to make sure it works right and everything. So we're very preliminary on it, so I don't have a whole lot of information besides the fact that we did vote to dissolve that. So.
Brad, and I don't know this, so it's, I guess, are there agencies out there outside of CMH, but private, I probably should ask you, private agencies that offer?
There are private agencies that offer mental health services.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the differences are probably private insurance or maybe some Medicaid, Medicare involved with that, where with the community mental health, I mean, there's county funding and there's also, they take in a lot of Medicaid, Medicare dollars and everything too. So there are private ones, but I think they're just more, strictly good service, just their clientele, and that's what it is, It's not a community-wide service that's available. That's my understanding.
A lot of work to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of work, but I think, after hearing everything that we've heard, I think it'll be really good for the community. There's people slipping through the cracks with an agency that size. I think that's probably gonna happen anyway. It shouldn't, but, with mental health issues and stuff, we can't let anybody slip through the cracks and everything. So, like I said, there'll be more to come on that, but it's gonna be some work and it's gonna take a little bit of time, so. Anybody else have any questions on that one? Okay. Last month too, not last month. Yeah, last month, the city wanted to have a senior center ad hoc committee formed. So Commissioner Klaus and Commissioner Klaus may have reported on this, so I apologize if he did, but Commissioner Klaus and Commissioner Henschel and Nate Elger are gonna be part of that ad hoc committee. Many people believe that the county owns the senior center down there on the water, and the county does not. That's city property, city parkland with the city building and everything. So I think there's some misconception. I think we can all agree that that building is dated and either needs a major remodel or rebuilt. Is how we get there to do it and everything. So as we get more recommendations from them, we can get closer. Commissioner Carlson will keep you posted on that. Last week also, at the board meeting, we did approve a EOC, which is Emergency Operations Center upgrade. It's mostly technology. It's a $265,000 upgrade. And some people ask why we need to do that. Well, emergency operations is something that we hope we never have to use. but when we do, we want to be there and be ready for our emergency personnel and everything. And we found out during COVID, by having some meetings and everything, we were lacking in technology and having problems with connecting and stuff like that. And whether it's COVID or a natural disaster or something like that, we need to be able to have our first responders from different agencies together so they can collaborate to make the best plan and everything like that. So that upgrade should be completed right around September, we're thinking, and stuff like that. So yeah, they're gonna repaint it, put in new flooring and furniture, but the bulk of it is all technology with different touchscreen things and a breakout room to where if a smaller group needs to break out and discuss stuff before it goes to the whole group, they can do that too. So it'll be a nice upgrade. And then,
Need to be able to dispatch that Bearcat out.
okay. You know, that's another thing there that, since you brought it up, it's something that we hope we never need to use, but, you know, for the safety of officers and even civilians and stuff, it's a nice tool in the tool bag. and
We've
stuff,
had
so.
situations where it would have come in real handy.
And, you know, many times they're used in this area anyway and stuff like that. We just don't hear about it, so, which is fine, so. And then one more thing, we had some local schools put in for the highly competitive school safety grant this year, and 3 of them were 100% awarded what they requested. Green Supplier Middle School received will receive $37,000. Northwest Ed, excuse me, will receive $67,000, and TCAPS will receive $250,000. And I bring that up because our emergency manager, which not too many people know we have an emergency manager and hear about it and stuff like that, he plays an intricate part in helping these schools achieve what they need to be able to apply for these grants and everything. So between that and some of the law enforcement people and first responders and stuff that help coordinate this all, but you know, that's a lot of money coming into
It's awesome.
our local schools for school safety and stuff. I mean, we're looking at over $350,000 there, so that was really good news. So,
It's awesome.
any questions or comments? Okay. But like always too, and I tell you this every time, but if you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, my contact information's on the county website. And most of you probably have my number anyway, but reach out to me and I will help however I can. So, thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
I waved the other day to you.
Yeah,
But I might have been a little bit late.
you were just a little bit late, but I caught it out of my peripheral. And, yeah, you did see me, so-
I says, there goes Brad.
Yeah.
Okay. New business, public hearings. Close our regular meeting at 6:43. And we are going to open up our public hearing for our first case is special use case SU SPR 220401 Flat Cap Ventures LLC located at 476 US 31 South Traverse City, Michigan 49685, requesting to establish a multi-use commercial building to include a 1,721 square foot event assembly space in their existing 5,023 square foot building. This special,
It used to be the case.
Excuse me. That's that really pretty. It's all redone.
Used to be the country place.
That's it.
I couldn't
This public hearing was posted in the Traverse City Record Eagle on our website. So, does anybody have anything to talk about?
Are you asking for us to speak? Public hearings are-
I'm not sure.
I am Dusty Christensen with Mansfield Land Use Consultants, here tonight on behalf of the applicants, Flat Cap Ventures. Brad and Judy Harrison are here with me. They can answer any questions that I can't. But we appreciate you hearing this tonight, and hopefully we'll get a favorable response to the project. I'll give you a brief summary of where we're at in the process and what the project is all about. And then I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have and answer any concerns as well. As you mentioned in your intro, the project site is at 476 US 31 South. It's on the west side of the highway, adjacent to the southeast corner of the ball fields parking lot. It's the old Case dealership building, if you're familiar with that. And over the past year or so, a major renovation is taking place at that building, and it's looking great. It's really turned out well. It was a beautiful, beautiful project. Last year, at the beginning of 2021, we received an administrative approval for the reuse of the building for office space and lease spaces for retail and office and conference space. So with that in mind, the building has been redone, and we're here tonight for final approval of a special use permit request to use 1,700 square feet of the lower level of the building as an event space. The plans, and I have the site plan here, highway on the right, existing parking, existing renovated building, and existing parking, and then the ballpark parking lot I mentioned is here, and the Bay Area Recycling for Charities is kind of back off the back corner of the site there. The plans comply with the zoning ordinance, and on the 20th of April, we were in front of the Planning Commission and went through all of that good stuff related to the zoning ordinance and the standards that apply to this project, and received a unanimous vote for recommendation for approval of the SUP here tonight at the town board level. It's an exciting project. It brings a new use to the highway corridor here in Blair Township. The building itself will be an active space during normal business hours with the office and conference space and lease spaces that exist. But the request for special use to perform events or host events in the building will really extend that time and allow for the building to be used after normal business hours and really bring some extra life to the corridor, which sometimes can kind of shut down a little bit as businesses close. With that, that's a good overview of the project, and we talked quite a bit at the Planning Commission level, and again, they recommended it for approval unanimously. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, that's all I have.
I think it's a great idea. I can't tell you how many calls we get here asking if we rent out the township hall, which we don't. And people will ask, well, do you know anywhere else? And there's really nowhere else in the township that you can have space for a baby shower or a wedding reception or something of that nature. So I think it'll be successful.
Excellent.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it really turned out
It
well,
is
didn't it?
beautiful.
Am I allowed to say something? Can I
come on up,
invite
Judy.
you all to come and see it?
Judy, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Judy Harrison, sorry, I'm the owner with my husband Brad, building Flat Cap, named after my father. So we're just thrilled to be a part of this community. So we invite you out and thank you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
Yes.
It is.
Yes, it really good.
Thank you. It's-
I got one question though.
Yes.
Is the dance floor still downstairs?
Not that dance floor, not the old dance floor. It used to be a country restaurant that we had, like, I guess way back when. And,
Oh, yeah.
but there is sort of a spot,
Okay.
so yeah, absolutely. But we're pretty thrilled to be here, so thank you, and hopefully
I'll have to stop and see it.
and we would love that. We love that, and so we'll be in touch with you all too, and we'd like to invite you to our ribbon cutting when we do that. So we've got our punch list going right now, so of all the last things to be done. So
Thank you, Judy.
Dusty, do you have anything else? Or?
I don't. If there are any questions or concerns, we can chat about those now. But, I think it's a great project and a real benefit to the community, and we hope that you feel the same way and approve the special use permit request.
The location's perfect also.
Yeah.
For a venue like that. The location is perfect for your proposed venue. So, just nice commercial highway. Yeah. Is there any other public comment? Any other? We'll close the public hearing. 6:50. Board discussion. I just, Fire has reviewed this. I know that, initially there was some concern with place of assembly occupancy, but I know that they've talked, so we do have fire review and fire approval on this project.
Excellent, yeah.
I would move to approve special use case SU SPR 22-04-01 Flat Cap Ventures LLC as it meets the standards for approval in section 2204 of the Blair Township zoning ordinance and was recommended for approval by the Blair Township Planning Commission.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve special use case SU SPR 2204-01 Flat Cap Ventures LLC as it meets standard of approval of section 2204 of the Blair Township zoning ordinance and has been recommended by the Planning Commission. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Sights,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Blondstein,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Abstain.
We actually learned that you can vote.
I thought that, but I didn't know whether we, I vote yes.
Are we allowed to cheer?
Thank you.
You want me to do water pressure out of that?
We do. Yeah.
I know there's some concern about that when they put the one in
Okay,
the right there.
we're gonna open up our second public hearing at 6:52. This is proposed amendment changes, amendment regarding private road standards and accessory structures. Amendment number 104-05-22-01 to amend Article 1601 and 1617. Public hearing's open. Is there any input on this proposed amendment change? I'll just say there was a lot of time, input put into this amendment change. Our attorney has reviewed it. That's all I have to add. No public input. I'm gonna close the public hearing on the proposed amendment change, amendment 104052201 at 6:54. Board discussion?
I thought it was good.
Good enough to make a motion?
Sure. I make a motion to accept amendment, Blair Township zoning ordinance amendment 104-05-22-01, amending sections 16.17 and 16.01.
Support. It's been moved and supported to approve the proposed Blair Township zoning ordinance amendment, amendment number 104-05-22-01 to amend Article 1601 and 1607. This public hearing was also posted in the Record Eagle and all the proper notifications. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Campbell,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Landshine,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Lees.
Yes.
We will open up the public hearing for public hearing number 3, the proposed amendment changes. This is an amendment regarding the solar energy farms. Amendment 104-05-2202 to amend Article 2, Section 4.02, 5.02, 6.02, 9.02, 10.02, 11.02, 12.02, 13.02, and 18.52. So our public hearing is open at 6:56. Any input? We'll just wait a minute and then close. Okay, let's go ahead and close the public hearing. 1 minute later than when we opened. Any board discussion? I just wanna say, I personally think this is an appropriate amendment. I think it needs to happen. Been to a couple different classes. One was hosted by Consumers Energy, and they are actively searching for large parcels, 200 acre plus of land to put in solar farms. And they're very upfront, you know, like they said, if your community's not gonna be interested in it, let us know right off the bat, don't waste our time. They're targeting southern Michigan, but they're slowly, for whatever reason, I don't know, making their way up here. Consumer Energy, they have a goal to be 40% or 60%?
I think it's 60.
60% by 2044. 60% solar by 2044.
2034. Was it 2034?
That was 2044, but whatever. So they are actively, Brad was at that one meeting also with us. Yeah, so this amendment change, well, you guys read it. So the planning commission looked at it, and we're not saying no to, we're saying no to solar farms, but still allowing residential use for people's homes. If they build a home and they wanna have solar power to their home, this square footage of what we're allowing will enable that to happen. So, that's my 2 cents.
And that was 1,000 square feet per home. Maximum. I would make a motion to approve amendment regarding solar energy farms, amendment number 104-05-22-02 to amend Article 2, Sections 4.02, 5.02, 6.02, 9.02, 10.02, 11.02, 12.02, 13.02, and 18.52, and 19, no.
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported to approve proposed amendment changes, amendment number 104-05-2202 of the solar energy farms to amend Article 2, Section 402, 502, 602, 902, 1002, 1102, 1202, 1302, and 1852. Any further discussion?
Lees,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Landshine,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Public hearing D. We'll open the public hearing at 6:59.
Just a note that the public hearing on the budget was published in the Record Eagle on April 27th, as required by law.
The other one's as required by law too.
Yes.
Item D, the proposed 2022-2023 fiscal year budget general fund.
motion for each one of these?
Not tonight, this is just a public hearing. In June, we'll adopt.
Well, that's what I thought it was June.
Yeah, this is just a,
We used to do
Anybody-
both in the same night, but
but if
It
somebody
doesn't-
had, if somebody had some concern about it, and it was
Right.
something that we needed to take into serious consideration, it gives us another month to talk about it, go back into
Yeah, that makes
our
sense.
budget, revise it,
And-
and then
Right.
then approve it at the next month meeting. Okay, we're gonna close this public hearing at 7. We'll open the next one at 7. Proposed 2022-2023 fiscal year budget ambulance fund. Oh, it is hot in here. I suddenly
Yes, it
just
is.
got hot.
It was hot when I walked in. I thought I missed you guys talking, but.
Okay, let's close it. Let's go ahead and open proposed 2022-2023 fiscal year fire and police fund.
701.
You tell me when time's up, Wixel. Suddenly having a hot flash.
702.
Okay. Go ahead and open public hearing. Item G, proposed 2022-2023 fiscal year liquor law fund.
did we do fire and police? Did I miss that?
Yes.
Yes.
You were sleeping.
It's all right.
Don't stop there for a minute.
Two weeks.
Has it been a minute?
Not quite. No, yeah.
Okay,
703.
okay. We'll open H, proposed 2022-2023 fiscal year budget Silver Lake Norwell fund. I take my daughter to Greenspire in the morning.
You just got 37,000 now. Yeah.
That's awesome. Has it been a minute? I proposed 2022-2023 fiscal year budget Metro Act fund. Okay, 704. We're done with our public hearings. We'll open up our regular meeting again. At 7:05. Number 2, budget amendment, Parks and Rec.
Due to the construction of the fitness court, our Parks and Rec budget is, I mean, even though we got grants, that's a totally different part of it. We're very close to being over budget. And we still have May and June, and we're gonna have some bills from Parker's for lawn maintenance and probably cleaning, and bills from Lautner for the irrigation. So I recommend moving 5,000 from contingency to capital outlay, Parks and Rec.
Support.
You what?
Go backwards.
I recommend moving $5,000 from contingency to Parks and Rec capital outlay.
There you go. I support that. It's been moved and supported to move $5,000 from contingency to capital outlay,
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeit,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Blondstein,
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
And then 3, Michigan Power Plan and Dearborn life insurance renewals.
I received our renewal for our liability insurance. As you can see, we had about a 12% increase over last year. This is the largest increase I've seen since I've been clerk. But Paul did, stated the reasons. Everything is going up these days. Plus, our loss ratio is 140%. Average is 59%.
And some driving incidences, multiple driving incidences with multiple different vehicles.
That, and they looked at the last 5 years, and we had the lightning strike. That was a lot of money.
That's a big one.
It was a very big one. And, Michigan Power Plan has been very good to us, but I wanted to make everybody aware of the increase. And we got the renewal for Dearborn. That's our short-term, long-term disability, life and AD&D. That renews in August. So I would like a motion to, I don't know if somebody wants to do 2 separate motions
Right,
or
we should.
what. But the check for the Power Plan insurance is in the check register because it's got a 6/1 renewal. But I still would like a motion to approve staying with Power Plan for our liability insurance and staying with Dearborn Life.
I'll make a motion to approve the insurance renewal through the Michigan Power Plan for Blair Township.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the insurance renewal through the Michigan Power Plan. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Zeit,
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Blondstein.
Yes. I'll make a motion to renew our short-term, long-term accidental death, life through Dearborn Life Insurance Company as presented.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Bloodshed,
Yes.
Please. Yes. Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Zeiss.
Yeah.
Now, number 4, quotes for security camera for ballot box.
Okay, the state did come out and say they were going to, fund the, well, it's not just security cameras, but security items for elections. And there is legislation right now, I'm not sure where it's at, but, that we're supposed to, if it passes, we would have to have a security camera on our drop box by June 1st. The only requirement to get reimbursed from the state is we're supposed to, if possible, get 3 quotes. Cindy contacted 3 companies. 2 of them, all 3 of them came out, but we only got quotes from 2. Those are in the packet. The one from Anavan is more expensive, but it would integrate with our current security cameras and system. So that would be my and it's everything that the it offers everything that's required in the legislation. So I would like approval to spend $4,192 on security camera and its components for our drop box.
How much has the state offered to pay back?
I don't,
$1,500 per
per precinct.
not to include.
So that would be up to $6,000 for us.
So if you don't get the 3rd quote, will they still reimburse you?
I'm assuming they said, if possible, 3 quotes.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of I'm not gonna be specific.
Just say security system from
Security-
animal.
Security system from Anavan. For
A video surveillance system.
video surveillance system through Anavan. As it's compatible with our current security system that we have in use. Do you want me to put the price on it?
Yes, please.
For not to exceed 4,000, I
got hot.
I'm sorry. Not to exceed $4,192. It's probably hotter outside.
Yeah.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the Anavan security system.
Video surveillance system.
Wixel's got it. Video surveillance system in the amount of $4,192. Any further discussion? I just ask that you guys make sure that reimbursement forms get submitted to the state.
I just do have one question. Is there a monthly fee charge like the one company has?
Not with Anavan, no.
Good.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Bloodshed,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Please. Yes. Wolfgang,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Zeiss.
Yes.
Number 5, Theron Charfait, cell phone reimbursement.
As we spoke, he has verbally tendered his resignation. But there are checks in the check register for April and May. So I guess I would move to approve reimbursing Theron Sharfie $50 per month for the months of April and May 2022.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to reimburse Theron Charfait cell phone reimbursement for the months of April and May of 2022. or $50 cell phone reimbursement.
Make them sound French.
Charfait.
Charfait.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
Fleischheim.
Yes. Number 6, accept resignation of ordinance enforcement officer, Matt Jerome. Matt let us know he has accepted a full-time position as zoning administrator for Long Lake Township. It's his hometown, it's his home community. He's 3/10 of a mile from there. Less hours, they're open, I don't know, 36 or 36 hours a week, I think.
Mhm.
And they're starting him at $31 an hour
Oh.
to start. Yep. So, I had a long meeting with him. It was a really hard decision for him, very hard. But the perks of less hour is his own community,
Yeah.
Right in the backyard.
so.
I would reluctantly accept the resignation of ordinance enforcement officer.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to accept the resignation of ordinance enforcement officer Matt Jerome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 7, place ad for enforcement, ordinance enforcement officer.
This is the ad we placed when we hired Matt. So any changes, if there's any changes, you need to let me know.
I haven't had, a chance to sit down. I would like to have a sit-down conversation with Lisa. Before we actually place an ad for ordinance enforcement. I mean, we all know how busy we are in the back here. Matt was hired as ordinance enforcement, assistant zoning administrator. Out the chute, he was the enforcement officer. He was out and about, and then as we continue to get busier and busier back here, he's taken on more of the residential zoning permitting. Not some, all. He up to this date has been doing all of the residential. So I just wanna have a conversation with Lisa. And figure out, we're busy, you guys, and, you know, Lisa being water sewer zoning administrator. Like I said, Matt's been doing half of it, all the residential. Lisa's been primarily doing the commercial. You know, do we need to, is it time, do we need to look at considering a planner? Do we, we need to have a conversation, but I'd also like approval to post for an ordinance enforcement officer.
Yeah, I would do that, but I agree, we need to expand that. We're getting busy and busier every year. We're coming into the busiest time of the year right now. And so it's gonna be a little crazy. And I would love to see an enforcement officer and a planner that could take over some of the total zoning administrative procedures, not totally, but almost all.
Are you saying 2 separate positions?
I am.
Yeah.
The 34,000 to 39,000 is 16.35 an hour to 18.75 an hour.
Yeah, that was just the old,
Yeah, I just wanted to let them know.
yeah, like, was that 2018?
Mm-hmm.
So you would like approval tonight to place an ad for
ordinance.
just ordinance enforcement officer?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we're definitely busy enough. I am so about being proactive versus reactionary. I hate when people call here, some of them just call just to call, I get that. But sometimes people call, and I talk to them quite often, where they've just had enough. And they're calling about the neighbor with an issue. We need an employee, we need somebody out in the field, finding these issues, sending the violation notices, following up with them. And we're busy enough that could be a full-time job. Like I said, Matt has been really learning and assisting with the residential zoning part of it. So I think, I don't want to hire, I guess what I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't wanna hire an ordinance enforcement officer / deputy or assistant ZA. I just want it to be an ordinance enforcement officer.
Do you think there would be enough for them to do during the winter?
I think,
I'm just asking the question.
yeah, I don't
I
know,
do.
I need input.
We need to get working on our master plan update again. I mean, these are things that a planner could help do and lay out.
But I'm talking about the ordinance enforcement.
Yeah, cause
Oh.
once winter's here,
We have a whole zoning ordinance that needs to be revamped. We're aware of that. We knew that when we adopted that master plan, that the next, and that was in 2017, the next part of that was to go through our zoning ordinance and bring that up to date and bring that into compatibility compliance with our master plan. That has not been done. Our ordinance, our zoning ordinance book is a mess. I mean, you guys saw the amendment for, well, you see it at the planning commission level.
There's,
Yeah,
it becomes hard to where do you look. They're all over. We definitely need an updated.
how did we post that before? I mean, what did we call his position?
Ordinance enforcement officer / deputy administrator of zoning and public works.
Do we wanna just keep it like that, just so we can get approval and
Yes,
get a posting?
that's fine.
Yeah, I think so.
What,
And then the hours, the wage, I guess if we're gonna post it, we probably ought to know what we're gonna pay him. I think
I don't know.
Trace, what was that?
16,
And this was from 2018.
If there's enough work to keep an enforcer busy, then I wouldn't think we'd wanna advertise him as a / deputy administrator. Because, see, it sounds like to me from what you say that there's too much work for one person if you combine the two things.
You know, I'm just thinking if we have it in there, what if we can't hire a planner or, you know what I mean?
Oh,
This, just so we can get a posting and maybe it could be the right person. You know, time management is also something that could be addressed here. I mean, everybody's busy, it's busy, there's no doubt about it, but time management definitely could be addressed.
Yeah. Well, post it as it says.
Call it that.
Yeah.
And what about,
What about
the
wages?
wages?
What were the wages?
Well, those are old, that was,
34,000 to 39,000, which is 16.35 an hour to 18.75 an hour.
and I think we
Do
started
you wanna know
Jerome,
what he's making now?
I think we started him at 39 and that was in 2018. And he's probably making 40.
45, I'm
No?
I think we just put them to 50.
Well, it hasn't gone into effect. yet,
Right.
but-
Yeah.
So 39 with the cost of things, I'd say 40,
40 to 45, depending on experience or something.
because, I mean, yeah, cost of living is up there too.
You're not gonna get good quality people for under $20 an hour, even $20 an hour. You know, it's tough out there.
Maybe 45 to 47. I don't know.
One of the things though that, yeah, I can work for $25 an hour out there with no benefits usually.
Mhm.
The benefit package here is quite
It is.
substantial. And people
41.6
need to know
is
that,
$20 an hour.
what that means
Yes.
financially to them.
So.
What you save in your benefit.
45.
I'd just say
But I do
42
agree.
to 45.
Yeah.
You know, you have to,
Then you guys
Yeah.
run out numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Linetti.
we've been struggling with this position for I don't know how long, years. We've gone through so many zoning administrators. You know, all of a sudden now we were on a roll, kind of heading in the right direction, so. we
Yeah,
just
well, and
kind
we
of
had
get
never
this-
had an ordinance enforcement officer.
No,
We created
no,
that
was-
position.
And that has been a real asset.
It really has. Yep.
And there's a ton of more work out there.
Yeah. And even if you're looking at separation of duties, I would even say go to a public works and a zoning administrator and separate that out even further for all three of them.
Yeah, just more conversation I would like us to have before we quickly, but I do know we need to at least
Okay.
get posting out there and.
I would agree. Would you say between 45?
So
42 to 46?
I think 42 to 45. That's just my opinion.
I have no problem with that.
Put excellent benefit package in bold print.
45 is 2163.
I make a motion to post for a Blair Township ordinance enforcement / deputy zoning administrator of zoning and public works, the starting wage between 42 and 46,000.
Support.
Support.
Any further discussion?
It's 2211.
Roll call?
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Zeiss,
Yeah,
Please,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Swanstein.
Yes. Number 8.
I would make a motion to authorize the township supervisor to act as interim ordinance enforcement officer.
support.
I'll pay that though.
It's been moved and supported to authorize the township supervisor to act as the interim ordinance enforcement officer.
Take your time on that post and save some money.
I mean,
I think Carl's
I did
gonna
it.
get an application on the way out the door.
Any
Great
further
for you,
discussion?
Carl. Come on, Carl.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 9, Traverse City, approve Traverse City Pit Spitters firework display request for the 2022 season.
I would move to approve the Pit Spitters fireworks. Is this a permit?
Basically, yeah.
Fireworks permit for summer of 2022?
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the Traverse City Pit Spitters fireworks permit. It's requested for the 2022 season. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 10, adoption of the capital improvement plan. As you guys know, our capital improvement plan had expired when COVID hit. So it's a little updated. There was a lot of time and energy and effort put into this capital improvement plan. And I appreciate everybody who spent the hours and hours and hours of putting this together. Lynette inputting it, Lynette and I both inputting it into our cool Munetrics program. This is the fanciest capital improvement plan I've ever seen. And it was a program that we had through our system. We still need to get a narrative, and it's not required, but it's recommended that we have narratives, to go along with each department. So we still need to get a water sewer narrative put together. And then when that happens, we'll just add it to this capital improvement plan. This capital improvement plan will be 2021 through 2026.
Yes.
And once it's approved, I'll do a cover sheet saying what years it's for and who was approved by and all that, and put it in a report cover and give everybody official copy.
And now that this is done, it's done in this form. And we had new planning commission members who have never been noticed by the planning commission didn't do this, which statutorily they don't have to do it. It's totally appropriate for the township board to put this together. The planning commission did review it and approved it. But going forward, so we don't get in this situation again, the planning commission, what needs to happen is we need to have a zoning administrator send out a notice that the capital improvement plan look-see is going to happen at the planning commission. Send out to each department head a sheet that says this is happening. It goes to the planning commission, they review it, and then it comes to
And it
us.
should happen every year.
And it needs to happen
It's basically
yearly.
just updating it.
Yeah, we are required to have the capital improvement plan reviewed yearly. Yeah, and because of COVID, there's every excuse under the sun, but I'll say because of COVID, because of some new planning commission members, a newer ZA who was never sent out to the department heads, the requirement for this. It was caught, it's corrected, and this is the best capital improvement plan I've ever seen this township have. So I'm super proud of it, and I thank everybody for their involvement.
I'd make a motion to approve the capital improvement plan for 2022 through 2026.
Or
2021.
Yeah,
Or
that's what I
2021,
thought.
I'm sorry, yeah.
It's been moved and supported to approve the capital improvement plan as presented for the years 2021 through 2026. Any further discussion? I just want to say too, it's totally appropriate as necessary to look at this and tweak it as we're getting caught up on maintenance that's never been done on our water system. So as that happens, Patrick, be aware of this, and just that Dixon report will be helpful. We can look at Dixon report and look at this. Yeah, okay.
I will attach it to.
There you go. Perfect. Yep. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Zeitz.
Yes.
And item 11. As we said earlier, Darren has accepted a position with a municipality much closer to his home. So put in his 2 weeks today. So we need to post for a DPW employee.
At the same wage we hired him at. I move to approve placing ad for a water sewer operator at the same wage used for the last posting.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to authorize posting for a water sewer operator, DPW employee, at the same starting wage as the last posting. Any further discussion? I just want a little further discussion. I'd like to see it on Indeed, I'd like to see it in the Record Eagle.
Michigan Rural Water.
Michigan Rural Water. Any place else that you happen to think of in the next
Facebook.
Social media.
social media?
Twitter. Twitter. Your website. Website.
That's given.
Roll call?
Zeitz,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Sunshine,
Yes.
Leaf.
Cool. Extended public input.
The only thing I forgot to add at the beginning is with the drug take back day, we got 17 pounds, which is very low compared to our past, but that's 17 pounds we'll take.
I think that's because, well, Kerchesky said because, like Green Light didn't always have a deputy there.
Oh, did they have one?
So people would come, from Green Lake
Mm-hmm.
here, but this year their CPO was there on drug take back day.
Any other?
I just wanna thank everybody that helped on cleanup day.
Yeah.
Yep, I could barely walk when I got home. My feet hurt so bad. Any other? We're adjourned. 7:30.
Oh.